donated will now be...
Mark McKay, headline sports. The St. Louis Cardinals' return home to Busch Stadium was certainly a productive one the past few days. After losing the first two games of the National League Championship Series in sunny Southern California, the Cards came back to the cold, drizzly North Country to sweep the Dodgers and come within one win of a World Series berth. Pivotal Game 5 went this afternoon following a rain delay. St. Louis posted the first 2 runs of the game in the first inning. Tommy Herr's base hit scored both Willie McGee and Ozzie Smith, who went through the stop sign at third base. That 2-0 lead would hold up only until the 4th. Bill Madlock smacked a 2-run homer to tie the ball game. It stayed tied until the bottom of the 9th when the Wizard of Oz performed some of his magic, this time with the bat. Ozzie Smith hits his first left-handed home run of his career to break the tie and give the Cardinals the 3-2 win. This series goes back to Los Angeles Wednesday night, with St. Louis holding a 3-2 edge. The American League has the night off.
Good evening and welcome to News Watch. Here's what's happening tonight.
The baseball Cardinals have once again given St. Louis something to cheer about.
They beat the Los Angeles Dodgers today to take a 3-2 lead in the playoff series, and they did it in dramatic fashion. John Sloan has the story now. John?
And quite a story it is. Not even the finest scriptwriter in Hollywood could have come up with a better dramatic ending than we saw at Busch Stadium this afternoon. The Cards went into the game tied 2 games apiece and went into the 9th inning tied 2 runs apiece with the Dodgers. Then Ozzie Smith came up 2 out. Here's what happened. So the Cardinals take the lead 3-2, and now it is back to L.A. Can't be that for drama, Don, and I'll be back with the highlight and some post-game comments during the regular sportscast later in this newscast.
You're right about that, John. What an electric moment. You know, that game ended well over 3 hours ago, but the celebration is still going on downtown right now.
That's right, Don. And not only is it a celebration, it's a monumental party that covers the entire city. We haven't seen this much euphoria and pandemonium in St. Louis since the Cardinals won the World Series in 1982. Lori Waters has more. She's been in the midst of all this confusion.
Cardinal fans are among the most loyal in the league, and why not? The Redbirds certainly give us enough to cheer about. And tonight at Charlie Gito's, they're cheering. They're cheering for yesterday's hero. And for today's hero.
The reason I'm a Cardinal fan is because my former husband was Ken Boyer, who was the third baseman for the Cardinals, and I will never forget the '64 World Series when he hit the grand slam in New York.
That's a very special memory, and indeed, Cardinal fans seem to have lots of memories. How long have you been a baseball fan?
All my life. I started out as a little boy. The first ball player I remember was Marty Marion.
The Cards came back from California down 2-0, but now they've won 3 in a row, and they're going to California with a whole new attitude.
Ozzie Smith up the bat. 2 foul balls. Here it goes.
Is it out? Is it out? It is! It's Ozzie! Yay! We won it! The Cardinals! I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Know where I'm going and I know what to do. I tied it up from my point of view. I got a new attitude. I'm in control, my worry refuse. I'm back, I know my mind. Ooh, 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 ooh. I got a new attitude.
A storybook ending.
And to coin a familiar phrase, you just gotta love it. L.A., we're going to take it away from you. Don't worry about it. Coming up next on News Watch, officials asked has been awarded.
These are Bohemian, Clayton, Roosevelt, Home Federal, Pulaski, Missouri Savings Association.
And also for all the folks at home, yes, we will, as a matter of fact, because as we know, the Redbirds moved a step closer to the World Series today, and the hero was an unlikely power hitter. I'll have all the details when we get back.
You got got that right. It is a celebration, and with good reason.
And with good reason. The Cardinals are that close to the big show once again. It is back to Los Angeles now. The Cardinals leading the NL title series 3-2. It was a classic ball game at Busch Stadium today. Let's show you the highlights right now. We'll pick it up in the Cardinal first. The big hit in that frame. Tommy Herr hits one right through the human sieve known as third baseman Bill Madlock, who is just not one of the great third basemen. Heck of a hitter, but he does not play that position well. It enabled the Cardinals to score 2. It was 2-0 Redbirds in the first. We'll go on to the Dodger fourth now, and Madlock makes up for it by parking one well into the pavilion in left field, and that tied the ball game at 2-2. The rest of the game really interesting, but they weren't scoring runs. A rare play you just do not see very often is catcher's interference. And they said that one was against Darrell Porter. Really was so shy, I thought, but they gave him the base, sent the man down to second, but as it turned out, it did not do any damage, and that was a close one. We'll show you after the argument another interesting play from this particular ball game. Dalian in relief just saved, really killed the rally with that great play, throws the man out, and we go on. To the Dodger ninth, Jeff Lottie really finishes out an outstanding day of relief by the entire Cardinal bullpen as he gets the last Dodger out in the ninth inning, setting the stage for the ninth. Niedenfuhr, the ace of the Dodger bullpen, in. Ozzie Smith, and there it goes. That is the first left-handed home run in the history of Ozzie's illustrious career. Just makes it as a home run ball. They thought it might have been off the wall. It was not. We get the home run call, and Ozzie circles the bases. And as you might expect, the Dodgers aren't real happy about it. As you also might expect, there's a lot of Redbirds to greet Mr. Smith at home plate. So the score, the NL Championship, Game 5. The Cardinals beat the Dodgers 3-2. The Cards now lead the series 3-2. As often as I see that thing, I was there today, and one of the most exciting things I've seen at Busch Stadium or anywhere else. Now, following the game, the media throng gathered in the interview cavern down there to hear what the heroes of the day had to say. First up, of course, Ozzie Smith.
Well, you know, it's the first time I've hit a home run left-handed, you know, so that's not really what I was trying to do. I was trying to get an extra base hit and get myself in scoring position, and I was fortunate enough to get under the ball enough to get it out of the ballpark.
Was that the highlight of your career, Ozzie?
Well, I guess it has to be because it was such a big, it was a big moment for us, you know. We had to win 3 games. If we knew we had to win 3 games, we were going to have a real chance at winning this thing, and we came back here 2 games, down 2 games, and we were able to accomplish what we had to accomplish.
After being down 2-0 coming home and now being up 3-2, I feel pretty good. But they're going to be a tough ball club to beat. They got Herheiser and Welch going, and we got Andahar and Tudor going, and it's just been a tremendous series. I mean, this probably was the best ball game of the series. Our first ball game home here the other night, we got 4 runs early, and they kept battling back, and we were able to win 4-2. But when you get right down to it, they blew us out there one game. We blew them out here, and today's ball game was by far the best ball game.
That's great. I mean, anytime you win ball games, that's a great feeling. You know, the fact that we're up 3-2 at this point in time, we have 2 games left, and we have to win one more ball game, and you have 2 to win 1, then, you know, we feel we have the upper hand at this point in time.
Hope Vince plays in L.A. The Redbirds now leave for Los Angeles tomorrow afternoon. They'll be playing Game 6 at Dodger Stadium Wednesday afternoon at 2:05 St. Louis time. The pitchers will be Joaquin Andújar and Orel Hershiser. And just in case you've forgotten, there's also an American League playoff series. The Royals and Blue Jays recently.
Bob Richards with weather and Mike Bush with sports.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. At this hour, the East St. Louis skyline is aglow. Fire has struck an abandoned warehouse.
Yes, this is a live look at the scene near the intersection of 14th and Walnut Streets in East St. Louis.
Officers were hired at the plant with the help of GM management. While posing as workers, they devote. The group needed 24,000 signatures. They submitted nearly available to federal agencies. The administration says the move would prevent people who aren't...
Don't laugh. You can learn a lot that way. Everything from what he eats to...
You know what I like?
All right, let's go outside. Channel 5's Eye on St. Louis scans the downtown area. Lows tonight will drop to 57 cool degrees. Tomorrow looks like it'll be a changeable day.
Fans into the streets of St. Louis ready for a celebration, and celebrate they are. Channel 5's Kathy Lender reports from Night Beat the victory party is still in high gear.
Hours after the ball game ended, enthusiastic fans were still singing their team's praise. At the American Cafe, dozens of fans celebrated the Cardinal victory with a cheer and a song.
We had such a super time watching them. I love them.
At Charlie Gito's, the scene repeated itself. Cardinal fans all over St. Louis see a World Series in their future. Well, all but one. But this lone Dodger fan didn't seem to mind.
It's just a great time to be here. Unfortunately, we lost.
At Bogies on the Landing, hundreds of Cardinal loyalists joined in the Cardinal theme song. Everybody's a Cardinal fan today. It's 1982 all over again. Bogies general manager Tom Marshall says they didn't expect this big a party.
Yeah, I can't understand it. It's just 3 games into the playoff, or winning 3 games in the playoff. They're nuts. It's a fever.
What kind of crowd is it? Have they been pretty good, though?
Yeah, they've been well behaved. They've been celebrating a lot. Every time we play, the heat is on. They go nuts. It's fun. It's fun. Just, you know, we're just standing around watching them go nuts.
St. Louis is alive with celebration. World Series fever is definitely in the air. But Busch Stadium is dark and empty. And the lights here may not come back on for the rest of this season unless the Cardinals can beat the Dodgers in L.A. For Night Beat in downtown St. Louis, I'm Kathy Leonard, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
No problem, Kathy.
Well, I think there's going to be some big heads and bloodshot eyes tomorrow, though.
Oh, you're probably right about that.
And what were they celebrating?
They were celebrating a big Cardinal victory. You know, when Ozzie Smith comes to bat left-handed, there are 2 chances he's going to hit a home run. Slim and none. That is, of course, unless it's the bottom of the 9th with the score tied in the pivotal game of the National League playoffs. Smith's first left-handed home run of his career lifted the Redbirds to a 3-2 victory over the Dodgers today and gave the Cards a 3-2 lead in the best-of-7 series. Let's go to Busch Stadium. It was the Cards on top first. First inning, 2 on, no out. Tommy Hurt drills it down the line and left. Willie McGee will score. So will Ozzie Smith, who ran through a stop sign from third base coach Hal Lanier, but the Cards were up 2-0. In the second, it's the Wizard of Oz on defense. Watch him go behind the bag and throw out Mike Marshall. In the fourth, the Dodgers tied it. Bill Madlock unloads off Bob Forge. This one was hammered. With a man on, it's now 2-2. In the sixth, the Dodgers threatened again. But watch the play here by reliever Ken Daly. And the Cards are out of a jam. In the seventh now, man on second, no outs, but Todd Worrell puts out the fire. He gets Mariano Duncan to pop out. Darrell Porter is there, and he makes the catch, and it's still 2-2 until the bottom of the 9th when it was Ozzie. He hit it a bunch, way back, and you gotta love it. The Cards do it. The final 3-2. Tom Niedenfuhr takes the loss as the Cards go up 3-2, and after the game, Channel 5's Jay Randolph was in the Cardinal locker room.
It's what this thing's all about, you know, giving it your all day in and day out, and that's what I've done, and that's what all the other guys have done. We got a group of guys here who everybody's not healthy, but they've worked real hard at going out there and giving everything that they have every day, and that's why we're where we are.
We were able to get to Fernando early, and that's the time you got to get to a good pitcher like that before he can get into his rhythm. And unfortunately, we let him wiggle off the hook a few times. We had some chances to score more runs in the first couple innings and didn't do it. But we made what we got stand up, and that's just a credit to the guys that came in and pitched for us.
We came in.
Pedro Guerrero, the batter. Interesting, the Dodgers won the first 2 games of the series. 6 times teams have come back losing the first 2 games of a World Series. 3 of the 6 times involved the Dodgers. And it looks like it's going to be 4 out of 7. Popped up. We are this close to it. And St. Louis is going to the series. And they deserve it. They stopped Valenzuela. They spotted Hershiser, a 4-1 lead. They knocked him out. And they came back down 5-4 in the 9th inning against Tom Niedenfuhr. And that's enough tribute to the Cardinals. They did what they had to do and beat the Dodgers 7-5. A worthy champion of the National League and a worthy representative to go into the World Series. And the Dodgers come up a buck short. Jack Clark being mobbed. Greg Brock staring off into eternity, and we'll be back beer from Miller player of the game is the Cardinals' Jack Clark. Light beer from Miller, happy to present a check for $1,000 in the name of Jack Clark to help fight multiple sclerosis. Jack being doused by the champagne, coming up with a 3-run home run when the Dodgers opted to pitch to him with first base open. And of course, that will haunt Lasorda. He didn't have a left-hander to come in to pitch to Van Slyke, and he didn't have a right-hander then to really come in and counter another Herzog move.
It's pretty obvious. The managers always have the reasons, but the second guess is going to get him. Everybody's going to say, why didn't he walk him? You know that Clark can hit it. He's been able to handle Van Slyke. He only had one guess. He made it and got burned, but you got your best relief pitcher out there, and you have to give credit to Clark who had to come back because he was up in a clutch situation earlier and didn't do anything. This time he did, and the Cardinals have battled back all year are going to be in the World Series, and there you see it. That pretty much says it all. When you
That's
look at
Mike Marshall, who for one brief shining moment turned this place into Camelot when he hit the home run in the bottom of the 8th. But fame and fortune, such a transitory thing. 1 minute Marshall was the hero, and the next minute he's lost in the shuffle. But when you look at it, the Cardinals are the better team and deserve to go. They were down 2 games to none. They got their act together and won 4 in a row.
And they beat the best.
And they beat the best the Dodgers had. What a year for the Cardinals. And the magic began when they got home to St. Louis.